Welcome back, family, to another episode of Walking in Wisdom, formerly Social Walking Wisdom. And today we're going to continue adding to our newest of playlists, Real Life Lessons. This platform, in Wisdom, is dedicated to all of you who desire to elevate, level up. Now that you know better, you desire to do better. And all of the squabbles and arguments amongst individuals throughout the diaspora, across the four corners of the earth. It is meaningless and aimless. We need to come together. So, as a leadership coach and a Nollywood aficionado, this platform, for the fun of it, is dedicated to showing you how to level up, how to build character if you're a man or woman of faith. If you anticipate more from your leaders, leadership first starts with you. You have to hold yourself accountable for your decisions that you make. And today we're going to ask and respond to this young lady's question. She has a pickle and she asks the internet, was she being petty by stranding her friends who did not pay her the money for a girl's trip? And of course, everything's within context, and we are only hearing the side of one person. So, with that understanding, we will provide some pearls of wisdom, and we pray that the internet gets involved. There are a lot of interesting responses here, as you already see, more than 7.6K. That means everyone has an opinion. And as a leadership coach, I'm going to provide you the real life lessons on character and leadership, especially for Generation Z and younger. It's about time we level up and understand the role we have to play. And that role starts with a man and woman in the mirror. So, if you decide to join an elite group of individuals who desire to do better and level up, simply subscribe, fan out, share with your friends, your sister friends, your real sisters, your brethren, any bromance that's been had amongst the brothers throughout the four corners of the earth. And it's time we level up and silence the noise that is not doing anything to build up our community. And when I say community, I'm speaking about within our family, local, national, and then you have global indeed. It's time to level up. And so I ask you to kindly subscribe if you want to be part of this movement saying enough is enough. Character matters. We expect more from our leaders. Therefore, I'm going to give 100% to my transformation. It is indeed a metamorphosis. And for that, we say thank you. Before we get into today's question, I would also encourage you. My platform was certainly inspired by this young lady, Sunya Uchi Television. She is a Nigerian actress, producer, and I would encourage you to support this platform in every way possible. If you strongly believe that now that you know better, you desire to do better, and it's all about character building, it's all about coming together as a community and letting your family and friends know that we all need to do better. We all have a responsibility to leave our footprint, but something that's positive, built on good character. And if you do so, I encourage you to go over and assist this young lady, subscribe to her platform, and support her as well. She has a lot of powerful movies where we can glean leadership and character building information on. And for that, we also say thank you. She was also, for those of you who don't follow Nollywood, she's also the latest recipient of a global award indeed. And when it comes to frenemies, I always ask the question, can two walk together except they be agreed? Amos 3 and 3. So if you're a man or woman of faith, when you select your friends, this should be the first question. Are you aligned with these individuals you're calling friends, or are they frenemies? And it's with that understanding, we're going to jump into today's discussion. And why this is a very difficult situation, it involves trust, money, and friendship, all three crucial components of leadership and character. And it's important that we focus on the core issues, character, bad versus good, and leadership, ineffective or not. And we cannot say she's too young to be a leader. You can be a leader at any age, indeed. So let's consider the character in conflict. You have good character, where you could consider honesty, accountability, and keeping one's word. In today's age, people believe they can switch their mind. Oh, I can change my mind. Of course you can, but should you? Should you switch your mind and change your mind like you change underwear? And I would say no. It's about your character. And bad character is about dishonesty, negligence, avoiding responsibility, and dumping it on someone else, right? So looking at a friend's action where we can say bad character, poor leadership without understanding their perspective. Let's just go with what the young lady stated. You have a breach of trust, lack of accountability. And the lesson here is bad character in this scenario is defined by inconsistency between promise, according to the young lady, and performance, actually paying, right? They went shopping, and according to her, um, they still did not pay, and this is when she got fed up. I would encourage you to look at the full video. We don't want to get dinged by YouTube streets, so go ahead and listen to the full video indeed. Now, the second component is the young lady's decision. Mixed character, because leaving someone stranded, and even if you call them a friend and they're not a friend to you, it's still about your role. So stranding, clearly it was a reactive and it's questionable in terms of character, right? And so while her frustration is valid, the act of stranding someone, assuming this means leaving them without help or transportation when they needed it, and it serves as punishment. So the question is, who labeled you judge executioner? That's something you have to consider. So it was really reactive and punitive, truth be told. But yet it was driven by emotions, being disappointed by the friends not holding up to their contract. And the underlying value, the good character, her anger stems from her belief in equity and keeping agreements and not reneging on any offer. So this is her way of enforcing boundaries. And then the lesson here is really good leadership means addressing wrong with principled action, not retaliation. So the lesson for the friends should be the consequence of their actions. And my question would be, if this was their first time, it could be a little bit more lenient. If this was what their fifth time, you shouldn't have done it because you should have learned from your first time. So let's consider 5 lessons on character and leadership. Number 1, leaders establish boundaries before commitment, right? And that doesn't mean build a fortress, but use a gate and you designate who comes in and out by a code or key. And of course, that's symbolic to letting people in to your life after they've been tested and tried. Financial agreements are not friendship agreements. So never mix money and friendship without clearly defining the financial transaction as a separate entity. And if you cannot speak and vouch for your friends that they would not do this to you, then you should have had a contract or allow everyone who is able to go on the trip pay on their own. And then the test of character is in a response to conflict. A person's true character is revealed not by their promises, but by their behavior when things go wrong. This applies to both parties. And even though the friends were wrong, your character could come into question just by the way you responded. But this is not to indict you. This is just to say everyone has work to do and no one is 100% innocent. And then consider retaliation, the pettiness. It undermines your own character. Because when you did it, your conscience might have been seared. And for you to put this out there for internet is either for views or it was really bothering you. And if you have a conscience that tells me you're better than that, and we say here, if you know better, you do better. And then loss of trust is the greatest consequence. The real life lesson is that a consequence of bad character is the immediate and irreversible loss of trust. So it's important that a good leader does not do business with people who have proven they lack integrity. So you have to check the quality of your friends. If you allow someone to roll over you time again and again, that's on you. And if you allow someone to do it the first time, there's grace. If you're getting to know individuals, there's grace. And there should be a level of reciprocity. If you made a mistake on their part and if they overreact based on their character, then you're getting bits and pieces of who these people or who this person is, right? People can tell you who they are or they can show you who they are. And really, it's about execution. So it's not what you say or who you say you are, is what you do when that time comes, when someone is looking or not. Those are the challenges and those are the strengths that people are going to judge you on. Not what you say, but what you do when the time comes. If you're the person people could always depend on you, or are you the person that's always dropping your responsibility on others? Those are the questions you need to ask yourself, and not just for your friends, it's about your families being able to depend on you. It's about your parents being able to depend on you. It's about your siblings being able to depend on you. It's about owning your responsibility and maneuvering in a way that is healthy and helpful for your network of people as well. So family, that concludes the character analysis when we're looking at walking in wisdom. This is a real life analysis looking at friends or frenemies, understanding that whether you have good or bad character, it all comes down to execution when the time comes. If you have any questions, I look forward to your comments. And as always, shalom.